Hello, I'm Javis Lewis, and in this video I'm going to show you how to print a PDF document using Amazon's CreateSpace service. I've used this service on a number of occasions, and previously I have printed a Word document, and I'm currently waiting for the first copy of a PDF document that I've converted for me to be sent back. So let me show you what the end result looks like. And this is a book that I've written myself, Lampstack for Humans. It's a guide on how to turn a laptop into a web server on your own home. You can purchase it from Amazon, in fact, and it looks really nice. So I've chosen the 6x9 version with the matte finish, and it comes with an ISBN on the back here, which CreateSpace give you for free. So this is what it looks like up close. It comes with a spine and of course with a nice front page, and you have a choice of matte or glossy, and it comes either with white or slightly creamy paper. This is what it looks like on the inside. So it looks extremely good. It looks absolutely professional, and the thing of course is you have to create all this yourself, and that isn't necessarily easy. So I haven't written another book that I want to publish, at least not yet, but what I do have is several of these old Commodore guides here. So these are the ones that came with the computers, like the user guide, and here's another one, +4 user guide, and they're very, very handy to have if you're into old computers. Here's a really thick one for the 128, the system guide, and it's fantastic. And I've got several others as PDFs, and I want to really have a printed copy of that. Now those PDFs are a little bit shady, so I don't have the right to distribute them, but I certainly should be able to have a copy made. In fact, I did that the other day with a book about machine language, and I went to a copy shop and had them make this monstrosity here for me. I mean, it looks beautiful, but of course it's printed on standard kind of US letter paper, and it cost me $60 in a copy shop, and they did all the binding, and it looks fantastic, but it is a bit of a weighty monstrosity, and it weighs as much as a whole ream of paper, because it's got about, I don't know, 400 odd pages here. Yeah, it's 400 pages. It's a good book though. It's good bedtime read, and I wanted something a little bit more small and compact that can be made from a PDF that kind of floats around on the internet. So in order to do that, we need to do several things, and this is why I'm going to split this into 3 parts in total. The first part is setting CreateSpace up and how to set up your title within CreateSpace. Then the second part is all about making sure you have a printable interior PDF, and then the third part is going to be kind of a Photoshop lesson of how to make that cover. The cover they actually want in CreateSpace before they want the interior of the file, and then it also takes about 24 hours for them to review it. So it's one of those things. But I will talk you through all these steps in this video. So the first thing we're going to do is head over to CreateSpace and set up our title. So log into createspace.com, and that gets you to the member dashboard. And these are all the titles that I'm currently working on. Lampstack for Humans, you've just seen the actual copy there, and then there's also the +4 Programmers Reference Guide, and then this is the one that's kind of in progress here right now. But in order to get started, we just hit Add New Title, and you have to give your book a name. It doesn't matter if you publish it or not, but you need to give it a name. So in my case, that is a PDF that is called this one here, the Commodore 64 Programmers Reference Guide. So that's the PDF. I'm on a Mac here, by the way, and this is the built-in preview application. It's just a simple PDF reader, but Acrobat Reader will do fine from Adobe, and it'll also of course work on Windows. So I'm going to stick on my Mac here, and so it's called the C64 Programmers Reference Guide. There we go. And what do I want to do with it? Well, I'm going to hit a paperback here, but I could also create an audio CD, a DVD, or a video download, which will then be available on Amazon Prime Video. So very exciting stuff that they do here. Very cool. And so I want a paperback, and choose a setup process. I'm going to do the guided step-by-step thing. It's a very funky way of them getting you through this. Oh yes, you will have to have Flash enabled, by the way, because most of this stuff is done using Flash, but that's not an issue. You can just enable it, and your browser will give you a little warning here. Now these icons on the side here, these are all the steps that we're going to have to go through in order to get our book printed, no matter if it's for publication or not. So my book, just to make that absolutely clear, is not going to be for publication, but the steps are exactly the same, and at the end we're just going to have to click some buttons on the distribute channel, and that'll get your book out there. So title information, we've got that here already. Subtitle, primary author, well, I guess that is just Commodore Computers. I have to give something. I could give my own name, but I don't want to take credit for somebody else's work here, so I'm just going to say Commodore Computers. There we go, that should do the trick. Add authors, no. This book's part of a series, no. Edition number, we'll put first edition, I guess. Oh, actually, I can probably have a look at what the edition was to make it absolutely first edition. There we go, 11th printing. Oh, great. Okay, so we'll put first edition. There we go. Language is English, and publication date, well, I can't set it to 1982, sadly, or I can go back to is 2008. So I'm just gonna select today's date. Otherwise, I would be more than happy to say 1982, which is when that programmer's manual was written. So that's all we need to do here. Hit save and continue at the bottom. And if there are any errors, then this will come up. In the next space, so now you'll see that this first thing has a green tick box next to it, and that means we're done with that section. So now on to this next section here, which is the ISBN. ISBN, the N in ISBN, by the way, stands for number. So if anybody refers to ISBN number, it's a bit like PIN number. The N is already stands for number. So even though it kind of slips off the tongue to say my ISBN number is, you know, do forgive people, including myself, I do sometimes say that, but the technical correct way would be just to refer to it as ISBN, one of those things. So I don't really need an ISBN because I don't want to publish my book, but Amazon is kind enough to give you free CreateSpace assigned ISBN, and you can use that, and I will in fact use that here, assign free ISBN, and then it goes away and grabs you one. This book here already had one. Actually, my PDF that I want to print has an ISBN, so if you already have one, you can provide your own down here, or you can also buy one for $99. And the big difference, should you want to publish your work, is that the ISBN is tied to the actual publisher, or the imprint as it's called. So with a free one, you will always be tied to the CreateSpace publishing agency as such, and that is what's going to show up in this massive big catalog of whatever books have been published around the world ever since the ISBNs were introduced, and it'll always be tied to CreateSpace. If you don't want that, then you can splash out $99 and get your own if you have your own publishing company, for example, and you don't want to be tied to CreateSpace. It also has some other advantages that you can, with your own ISBN, I believe you can distribute your work in bookstores around the world, whereas with the CreateSpace ISBN, you can only distribute it through Amazon sales channels. So that's another thing. But in my case, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm just going to use the free ISBN because, you know, free is good, much like free SSL certificates. So there we go. The ISBN also is locked, so it cannot be changed once it is assigned. That's also a very important thing to remember. So I've got mine now, ISBN 10 and ISBN 13, and that's just something that they're going to put on the cover of the book. So we're going to have to provide this section here, and this barcode actually is being created by CreateSpace, so we don't have to worry about that. They will just need an area on the back of the book that they can put the barcode on, so it's scannable. You can, if you want, mention the ISBN in the front matter of your book. In fact, I've done that on my own book here. It's at the bottom here. I believe you can see that down here, but there's no requirement to do that. But there is a requirement that if I'm printing my own PDF now, that may contain an old ISBN, and that I cannot use, so we must get rid of that. If there is an ISBN in the front matter that does not match the one that they've assigned to you, or the one that's on the outside of the book, then that's no good either. So make sure there's either the correct ISBN in the book or there's nothing in the book. That both of these things will be fine. So I've got it now, so let's continue and head over to the next step, which is the interior. Now I can choose a size here. The two most common sizes that are in paperbacks in use are in fact 6x9, which is a slightly larger version, and 5x8. They do give you several sizes in between, but in my case 6x9 is just going to be fine. It's kind of mimicking the size of my other reference guide, so I'm going to stick with that. It's slightly larger than a paperback. So I've got another one here, which is in fact 5x8. And the easiest way, I guess, is to get a ruler out and just have a look at that. So this is Elizabeth George's A Great Deliverance. My wife got this as a birthday present, I guess. And in comparison, well, it is slightly smaller than the 6x9 version. So tech books with lots of small writing, it's always a good idea to just have it a little bit larger. So I'm going to go 6x9 here. And you have a choice of the interior being black and white or in full color. So if I look at my PDF here, even though it does have color, that will drive the price high up. So if I wanted to splash out, I guess I could do that, but I think this is only confined to headlines in my case, so I don't really need color to be printed. I think I'm happy for all this to be in black and white and save myself some money and you know, splash it out on some other books. So there we go. I'm going to use black and white, and then I can also choose a paper color. So in this book here, I've chosen the cream color, which gives it a slightly off-white look, and I believe that is also used in this paperback here. And brilliant white would of course be a color like standard copying paper. Oops. Like this, for example. That would be just like, you know, plain white. So depending on what you want, the price is going to be the same, white or cream color. I just think cream looks very nice. And so the next thing that they want from us is in fact the interior file that we can upload here. Now, because we're running a little bit long already, I'm going to do that in the next part, in which I'm also going to prepare that interior file. And then in part 3, we're going to deal with the cover, and then we're going to add the cover to CreateSpace. Join me for that. If you like this video, then please share it with friends, family, and total strangers. And of course, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next part. Take care.